which are important, on which I will talk about. So please don't worry and don't feel bored. At any point, if you feel there is some doubts or anything which you are not understanding at all, or just unmute yourself or raise your hand and I will get to know. Okay. Dismantling and reconstructing unit of a cell. And I had mentioned that it has a hydrolytic enzymes and the pH is kind of acidic in nature. So anyone tell me which are the enzymes which are present in this typical lysosomes? So कौन-कौन से enzymes होते हैं इसमें? Anyone can raise hand and we can talk.
Amylase,
Amylase,
proteases and
proteinase,
lipases.
Yeah, so
acid.
please request is अगर कुछ बोलना है तो please raise hands and then बात करो. Now for now it's okay. I got your answer. Amylase, lipase, and um, what was this?
Lipase.
Yeah,
Lipases.
yeah, lipases basically. So these are three important hydrolytic enzymes which are present in the lysozymes, which have a typical hydrolytic activity. What is hydrolytic activity? It means it will break down these typical biomolecules into a smaller units. Okay. So the next point is the enzymes in this particular what I can say lysozymes are not always in active state. Actually ये हमेशा काम नहीं करते. It's not like कि वो हमेशा ही किसी ना किसी को break down करते रहेंगे. Why so? Because it is not required. अगर वो continuously अपना काम करते रहेंगे, obviously it will like kind of energy consuming kind of reactions will take place and वो अपनों को नहीं चाहिए. So whenever it is required, the lysozymes will get activated and it will break down the different biomolecules into the simpler ones and like basically the clearing action. Okay, so ये activate कब होगी? So whenever there is some need or there is some kind of requirement जहाँ पे कोई भी particular damaged cells और typical toxic biomolecules या फिर कोई भी other compound जिसको हम लोग को break down करना है, ऐसा अगर कोई molecules आ रहे हैं, so generally these molecules are in a form of vesicles or in typical other organelles. Okay, so there are some storing organelles रहते हैं in our cells. So जब भी इनको ब्रेक डाउन करने के या फिर डिस्ट्रॉय करने की जरूरत पड़ती है, the lysosomes will come in contact with such particular organelles and it will form a hybrid structure. Okay, and फिर ये जो hybrid structure रहेगा, that will during this particular hybrid structure the enzymes will get activated and then these enzymes will break down and cleave off different molecules and then उसके बाद वो सब चीजें like whatever not necessary for the cell will get cleared off. Okay, तो जिसका जरूरत नहीं होगा वो वहां से निकाल दिया जाएगा. Similar way, एक बार उसका काम हो गया, it will again come back to its native form जहाँ पे वो inactive form में रहेगा. Okay, so that's why depending on कौन से cells में जरूरी है, कहाँ पे present है और what kind of function the lysosomes are carrying out, उसका function इसका properties will vary. So जैसे मैंने बोला था कि जो liver पर रहेगा lysosomes वो थोड़ा अलग हो सकता है, जो मसल्स में होगा थोड़ा अलग हो सकता है, because उनका function will differ. Liver has some different function, the muscles have some different function, and in a similar way like the gastrointestinal tract have different cells और उनका function कुछ अलग रहता है. So depending on कौन से cell में present है, the function of lysosomes generally vary. Okay, I hope I'm clear. Now these lysosomes are not just kind of one type. So there are multiple types of lysosomes. So that's why we call lysosomes are polymorphic in nature. Polymorphic matlab there are more than one forms of such kind of organelles. Okay. So multiple forms are there. For now we are not concerned और हम लोग को उसकी इतनी जरूरत नहीं है पढ़ने की. We are more interested in the two major types of the lysosomes. So the lysosomes are mainly classified into primary lysosomes and secondary lysosomes. तो जो प्राइमरी lysosomes है ये क्या होता है? These are nothing but the normal lysosomes जिसके अंदर enzymes present रहते हैं, but these enzymes are in a inactive state. Whereas in case of secondary lysosomes, the lysosome is actually fused with another some kind of organelle endocytic vesicle kind of thing, जहाँ पे ये जो जहाँ पे different compounds और biomolecules को digest किया जाता है. Okay, so secondary lysosome is a kind of hybrid structure because वो fused रहता है with some kind of vesicles or some other organelles, whereas primary lysosome is kind of native structure जहाँ पे सिर्फ membrane bound vesicle रहेगा with the inactive hydrolytic enzymes. Please try to understand the difference. Okay, प्राइमरी में क्या होगा, इट इज जस्ट अ मेम्ब्रेन बाउंड वेसिकल जिसके अंदर एंजाइम्स है, बट द एंजाइम्स आर इनएक्टिव इन अ स्टेट. सेकेंडरी में क्या होगा, द लाइसोसोम इज एक्चुअली फ्यूज विद सम काइंड ऑफ वेसिकल्स and it forms a typical hybrid structure, and that's why the secondary lysosome is also called as hybrid lysosomes. And as we know, अगर वो किसी के साथ hybrid बना रहा है या फिर कुछ fusion कर रहा है, obviously the ultimate size of this particular lysosomes is kind of larger as compared to the primary lysosomes. Okay, so this is a basic difference in a primary and a secondary lysosome. Then it's not like a एक बार that things always left in the undigested remaining part of the or leftover part basically in the heterophagic vesicle. Now the term heterophagic इसका मतलब क्या है, hetero मतलब अलग, phagic मतलब something which will engulf or degrade the material. So secondary lysosomes are generally represented as or called as a hybrid or heterophagic vesicle. Why? Because उसमें primary और उसके they are fused with some other kind of vesicle. That's okay. So residual body is something like a kind of structure जहाँ पे थोड़ा बहुत material is left over, जहाँ पे पूरा clear नहीं हुआ है. Okay. Then the next part comes is like another types of this particular uh, lysosome, but now based on their activity. Okay, so we can say intracellular, extracellular, or but before that, I would like to clear some things about the suicide bag. So I think last lecture में ही हमने discuss किया था. Lysosomes are called as a suicide bags. Okay, why? Because they actually bring about the digestion of the cell's own organic material. So जो cells खुद जो the autophagic, that is something auto मतलब automatically like autophagic मतलब something which is degrading its own material, and that's why lysosomes are called as autophagic material or suicide bags because they can digest or degrade their own materials or the damaged cell organisms. Okay, so how it is carried out basically, obviously the lysosome has to fuse with the membrane bound old cell organelle, like जिसको उसको degrade करना है, it has to get attached to and fused to such organelles, and then it will get degraded. Okay, and this process it's not like कि ये सब होगा only when it some damage होगा या फिर some kind of emergency is there. No, all this autophagy process and all are already happening in our body. Like even now, maybe in my body, such processes are happening. Why? Because our body is composed of what? Cells. And it's not like the cells are immortal. Like, what do I mean by immortal? मतलब वो अपना लाइफ टाइम ग्रो होते रहेंगे, ऐसा नहीं होता है. हर एक सेल का there is a specific lifespan, right? तो आफ्टर अ पर्टिकुलर टाइम द सेल्स नीड टू रिप्लेनिश, मतलब जो पुराना है उनको निकाल दो, जो नया है उनको लेके आओ, of cell division, and there is a like complex mechanism behind it, but then it is kind of essential process. So that's how in this entire process of like replenishing and development, this typical lysosomes or the autophagy process plays a major role. So they have given a very good example of a liver. So they are saying that every week a human liver cells recycles half of its macromolecules. So मतलब जो liver के बाद जो macromolecules है, when I say macromolecules, it's generally carbohydrate, lipids, fats, like carbohydrate, proteins. Yeah, mainly proteins. So they actually degrade and or like kind of they replenish. So जो पुराना है उसको निकाल लेते हैं, नया लेके आते हैं. That kind of thing, and it is such a fast process और such a abundant way में ये होता रहता है that within a week almost half of its size जितना भी रहता है that can get replenished. Okay, I hope you are understanding this. So there are two important points जो अभी हमने discuss किए हैं. Very first was two types of lysosomes. एक था primary, एक था secondary. Primary में it's a membrane bound organelle kind of structure, membrane bound substructure जिसके अंदर hydrolytic inactive enzymes are present, whereas secondary is a kind of hybrid structure जहाँ पे lysosome is fused with some kind of organelle or vesicle. Okay, and then the autophagy process जहाँ पे damaged cell organelles or tissues को सेल ऑर्गेनल्स और बायोमोलिक्यूल्स को डाइजेस्ट किया जाता है. नाउ द मैकेनिज्म कैसे करेगा, राइट? So there are two important ways in which the digestion can be done. Okay, so the lysosomes can digest the material or any kind of biological material in a two ways. It can be intracellular or it can be extracellular digestion. Okay, तो हम लोग स्टेप वाइज जाएंगे. सबसे पहले आई विल एक्सप्लेन यू अबाउट हाउ इट हैपेंस इंट्रासेलुलरली एंड देन विल एक्सप्लेन यू अबाउट द extracellular material. Okay, so now intracellular digestion. So basically it is something जैसे कि हम डिस्कस किया just now about the autophagy process या फिर the secondary lysosome जहाँ पे lysosome will get fused with some other kind of vesicle और फिर उसका वो digestion कर देगा. Similar kind of processes happens in a case of phagocytosis. Now what is phagocytosis? It is the engulfment of some kind of material. Okay, so तुम लोगों ने सुना रहेगा about the cells which are called as macrophages. They also show this kind of process, phagocytosis. Even the amoeba, okay, even the amoeba shows this kind of process for the eating of the food and then digestion. So amoeba के पास होते हैं food vacuoles. Okay, so this actually help in the engulfment and destroying the microbes that are entering the body. So they actually form the pseudopodia kind of structure and they can engulf such kind of material inside their body and they can digest it at a later stage. Okay, so this is typically a intracellular process जहाँ पे फ्यूजन हो रहा है एंड फॉलोड बाय विच डाइजेशन हो रहा है. बट सब कुछ कहाँ पे हो रहा है? विद इन द टिपिकल स्ट्रक्चर इंट्रासेलुलरली. वहां पे कहीं पे भी एंजाइम्स को हम लोग बाहर रिलीज नहीं कर रहे हैं. एंजाइम्स आर प्रेजेंट बट कहाँ पे? inside the lysosomes and lysosomes are then fusing with some other kind of organelles and all to carry out the intracellular digestion. Okay, now there is another type of digestion that is a extracellular digestion. The name itself is same. Intra में क्या हो रहा था? Within the membrane bound organelle hydrolytic enzymes were playing their role और उसको break down कर रहे थे, right? But in case of extracellular digestion, the enzymes are actually released by the lysosome outside. मतलब अगर मुझे कुछ डिग्रेड करना है, the cell will degrade the enzymes outside and then the enzyme will show its function. One of the best example of such structure is the acrosome. I understand that you might not be known the word acrosome. So acrosome is a part of a sperm basically. So sperm is a male reproductive gamete basically. So it is a cap-like structure in a human sperm. So human sperm, I don't know, like, okay, I can draw it for you. Just give me a minute. Yeah, so तुम लोग को white board दिख रहा है?
Yes.
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 Yes, sir.
Okay. So something like this. Okay. So this is a typical structure of a sperm that is a male gamete. This is a head. और जो head है ना, इसका जो upper part ये है, that is called as a acrosome. So this is typically a part जहाँ से the sperm releases a typical enzyme. So I know you don't know the in-depth knowledge about the human reproduction, because that you will get to know in the next year, basically in the 12th standard. But the basic information that the sperm, that is a male gamete, fuses with the egg or the ovum, that is a female gamete, and then there is a process of fertilization. And we also know that the only like, okay, so the sperms are actually released from the male system in a million के number में. It's not like कि एक दो होते हैं. Within of 1 or 2 ml, there are millions or billions of the sperms which are released by the male system. But however, only one sperm is able to fertilize the egg, and then the further process will take place, like the zygote formation and then the embryo development further. I'm not going in detail about the reproduction part, but why I'm telling you all these things, because ये जो acrosome है, that actually releases an enzyme which is called as a hyaluronidase. तो ये क्या करता है, whenever it reaches the ovum, oh I'm sorry, so this is a typical, let's say, ovum, a kind of circular spherical like structure. Okay, और ये जो ovum का जो upper part जो होता है, or the outermost layer we can say, is made up of something called as hyaluronic acid. Okay, so please note it down. The outer part of the ovum is composed of the hyaluronic acid. So what do you think? कि मतलब ऐसे भी कोई भी sperm जाके अंदर घुस जाएगा? No, it is very very specific process. There are so many things in a picture which I don't want to disclose right now, because then हम लोग वही सब discuss करते रहेंगे and then we will not be able to finish up the chapter. But then what I want to focus on currently, that's this decapping process by which the acrosome के पास जो hyaluronidase enzyme रहता है, that will come and break down this typical hyaluronic acid, and because of which यहाँ से ये sperm अंदर जाएगा, and then the further fusion of the nucleus will take place and all that you will learn in the next year. But then for now, just try to understand. Ovum के पास से hyaluronic acid, sperm के पास से hyaluronidase, and that's why the hyaluronidase will break down the hyaluronic acid, which will make the space for the sperm's entry into the ovum, and that's how it is carried out. Okay, that's how the reproduction happens. So I hope you understood.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So
Screen बंद हो गया.
yeah. Now I think it's visible because मैंने whiteboard on किया था. Now it's visible, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. So this entire hyaluronidase release and all whatever process is happening, this is nothing but a lysosome substructure. So the acrosome which is present in a sperm is nothing but the modified lysosome which actually releases the enzyme. So this is the example of a extracellular digestion of a typical external layer of the ovum, which is composed of a hyaluronic acid and digested by the hyaluronidase. So it is an example of a extracellular digestion. Okay, please don't forget this example because तुम लोग को ये next year काम आएगा. So I hope you understood the difference between the intracellular and the extracellular. Intra में within a cell जो enzymes वहीं पे काम करेंगे. Extra में the enzymes are actually released outside of the cell. Okay, then again there are also other examples like during metamorphosis and all, like the same thing happens. So it will help in the reusing or the digesting of the redundant organs. Now what is redundant organ? Like the cells or the organelles which are not in use for a longer time, जब कुछ काम के नहीं है, या फिर maybe it's something like कि जो अब तक काम नहीं था, but then again activating them for some other functions. So all these things can also be done by using this typical lysosome like structure. Okay, and they also have shown a very good potential in destruction of the malignant cells. Okay, what are malignant cells? Malignant cells are nothing but the cancerous cells. So such lysosomes which contain the specific enzymes have shown potential to distract the typical cancerous cell, which is again a beneficial effect on our body. Okay, so that's all about the lysosomes. Please go through it and let me know if you have any doubt in the next class. Yeah, any question? Because किसी का तो mic I think on था and I heard something. So अगर कुछ question होगा, please don't hesitate. You can ask me anything and that's absolutely fine. So with this, we are continuing with the next topic, that is the vacuoles. But before that, again, I will be giving you sort of summary of the uh, typical lysosome का जो हमने पढ़ा. I understand that PDF थोड़ा distracting हो जाता है because everything on the slide, but then please cooperate for a day. So lysosomes हमें क्या देखा था? It is a dismantling and a reconstructing kind of unit. It contains the hydrolytic enzymes like lipases, amylase, and the proteases. It's का जो internal pH that is kind of acidic in a nature. Okay, and there can be two types, primary and the secondary. Primary का मतलब it's a membrane bound with the inactive enzyme. Secondary, it can form a typical hybrid like structure. Then the typical process of the autophagy जहाँ पे it can digest the cell organelles or the damages. Yeah. Okay, कोई कुछ बोल रहा है? You want to ask anything? Okay, so and then the final, the mechanism by which the lysosomes work. So it can be intracellular or extracellular kind of digestion. Okay, I hope you have cleared. You understood what we are trying to like study. So yeah, there is one interesting fact they have given in this red box, or like always remember kind of thing. So obviously, as I mentioned, कि lysosomes के पास ये enzymes होते हैं. So like अगर लाइसोसोम के अंदर ये सब एंजाइम्स है which are mainly lipases, amylase and protease, so we all know the cell membrane जो भी रहते हैं they are mainly composed of what, proteins and lipids. Then अगर ये एंजाइम्स लाइसोसोम्स के अंदर है then why they are not degrading the lysosomes itself? Like it's a valid question कि अगर वो उसके अंदर प्रेजेंट है तो ऑब्वियसली दे शुड डिग्रेड लाइसोसोम आल्सो बिकॉज़ इवन लाइसोसोम इज कंपोज्ड ऑफ व्हाट, प्रोटीन, लिपिड्स एंड सम काइंड ऑफ शुगर्स. So but it's not happening, right? ऐसा नहीं होता है. So why it's not happening? Because maybe what they are saying basically there is a three-dimensional shape of this particular proteins, like the proteins are actually present or the enzymes are actually present in typical way so that they can protect the membrane. So there is no direct action of this particular enzyme on this typical cellular membrane or sorry, organellar membrane, जिसकी वजह से लाइसोसोम्स का जो एंजाइम्स है वो काम नहीं कर पाते ऑन एंजाइम. It's not given very clearly in your book, but then there is a huge big mechanism behind this particular thing. But for now, I think that's enough. Okay, वो degrade नहीं करता है because they have a typical structure in by which they have arranged, the proteins have arranged themselves within a membrane, and because of which no direct interaction happens, and because of that basically the lysosomal enzymes cannot degrade its own membrane basically. Okay, but then अगर कुछ हो जाता है या फिर समटाइम लेट्स से लाइसोसोम भी बर्स्ट हो जाता है तो दिस एंजाइम्स गेट रिलीज आउटसाइड द lysosome that is inside the, like they will get released into the cytosol. But then as soon as it gets released into the cytosol, there are some other mechanism by which the cell can clear off these enzymes, and even the pH is acidic. But then even that can be covered up because जो हम लोग का cytosol होता है उसका pH is around 7, which is neutral. So that will easily cover up the problem which is caused by this bursting or breakdown of the lysosome. So even that problem can be solved. However, अगर lysosomes के पास enzymes नहीं बने, then there is a problem. So if a particular person is not having enough or sufficient amount of typical enzyme, then it can actually lead to some kind of disorders. So one example they have given, that is a Tay-Sachs disease. Please highlight or note down this particular disease, that is a Tay-Sachs. Okay, this is a genetic disorder which happens due to the insufficiency or let's say there is not enough amount of the lipase enzyme. और lipase का काम क्या होता है? It actually breaks down the lipids and fats. तो अगर lipase ही नहीं रहेगा, so obviously the lipids and fats will not get degraded within the cell and they will get accumulated. तो वो वहीं पे store हो जाएंगे. And it was observed that in this particular Tay-Sachs disease, the fats actually gets accumulated into the brain and which impaired the function of the brain. तो brain का function affect हो जाता है because of this particular insufficient amount of lipase जो कि lysosomes release करते हैं. So all these things, all these factors needs to be considered. So I hope you understood the concept of lysosomes and the typical function. So the next important organelle जो है in this particular case is the vacuoles. सब लोगों ने वैक्यूल्स के बारे में पढ़ा रहेगा बिकॉज वेन एवर वी ड्रॉ द टिपिकल प्लांट सेल्स और द अमीबा और पैरामीशियम, वन ऑर्गेनल इज फिक्स. एक प्रॉपर सर्कल बना दो, उसको वैक्यूल नाम बना दे दो, नॉट नथिंग बिग डील, राइट? सो दिस वैक्यूल इज एक्चुअली हैव अगेन अ मल्टीपल फंक्शंस डिपेंडिंग ऑन वो कहाँ पे प्रेजेंट है और क्या काम कर रहा है. सो व्हाट आर वैक्यूल्स? बट देन यू नीड टू स्टडी दैट फर्स्ट. Vacuoles are the membrane bound organelles. Please note it down. ना अभी तक हम लोग ने जब भी जो भी organelles पढ़े हैं, all of them are membrane bound. So that actually is an important point because there will be another organelles coming in the next or coming lectures. जहाँ पे they might not be a membrane bound organelles. So you have to, so you should be able to differentiate कि कौन से membrane bound है, कौन से membrane bound नहीं है. और अगर membrane bound है तो are they single membrane bound or a double membrane bound? So itna you have to keep in your mind. Okay, so again vacuole is a membrane bound organelle which is mainly found in a plant cell. So it's very abundant in a plant cell, but that doesn't mean that animals में है नहीं. So even in animal cells they are present but in a fewer number, not in a very large number, and even the size is also small. Okay, so but plant के case में there are multiple vacuoles which are present and having a different function. Okay, as I mentioned, in case of plant cell there is a central vacuole which is nothing but a single large vacuole that occupies the central part of the cell. Okay, and it is such a large that actually cell का 90% volume is actually covered up by this particular vacuole. So itna bada, and it contains the cell sap and different enzymes or some storing material and all. So it is actually having a very important function in a plant cells. Okay, so this particular, the membrane, as I mentioned, the vacuoles are membrane bound organelles, but ये जो उसका membrane होता है in this case is not a freely permeable membrane. वो सबको allow नहीं करेगा, and that's why this typical membrane is called as a semi permeable membrane. Tell me which other membrane was semi permeable in a cell? और कौन सा ऐसा ऑर्गेनल है और पार्ट ऑफ द सेल है जो सेमी परमिएबल है? यू कैन रेज योर हैंड. सेल के पास और कौन सा ऐसा पार्ट है विच इज सेमी परमिएबल? What happened? All are sleeping? Okay, so the hint is cell wall है या cell membrane है? Yeah, Sharon.
सर सेल मेम्ब्रेन है.
Yeah, so I don't know who answered, but that is correct. So within a cell, even the cell membrane is a selectively permeable membrane, and like that only, even the membrane of the typical vacuoles are also semi-permeable membranes, and this membrane is called as the tonoplast. Please highlight this. The membrane of this vacuoles is called as tonoplast. Okay, so this particular membrane helps in the maintaining the composition of a cell sap, which is actually different than the cytosol. तो इवन साइटोसेल के पास भी बहुत सारा बायोमोलिक्यूल्स रहता है, एंजाइम्स रहते हैं, प्रोटीन्स रहते हैं एंड ऑल. But then the cell sap, which is actually present within the or inside the vacuole, is kind of different, or we can say it is more of hypertonic in nature. Now, why I am saying it's a hypertonic, because the concentration of all these components like proteins or the lipids or some other components which are important for the cell to grow and develop are concentrated or highly within a high concentration in this particular vacuoles, and that's why they are kind of hypertonic to the cytosol. What is meant by hypertonic? Hypertonic मतलब cytosol से ज़्यादा concentrated रहेंगे, and that's why it is called as storehouse for different components. So it can be ions or it can be any other macromolecules. Okay, so few examples they have discussed. So और क्या क्या काम के लिए होता है? So in a small vacuoles in a seeds they actually store proteins. In some cases the vacuoles are actually excretory in a function, so they will help in a excretion of different molecules or the elements from the cells. In a case of the herbivorous like, so like in case of some plants they will store some material which will make the plant kind of harmful, or that can like they can like it cannot be easily eatable, or you can say palatable for the herbivores, वो खा नहीं सकते. So that kind of functions are also done by the vacuole. So it can also store food, it can store ions, it can store protein, but at the same time it can also store some kind of harmful components that can be harmful to some other consumer kind of thing. So अगर plants में तो herbivores cannot eat such kind of plants, because अगर वो खाएंगे तो they will get this toxic components जो कि vacuoles में stored रहेंगे. So this is kind of, so as I mentioned कि storing function के लिए काम हो सकता है, excretory function के लिए काम हो सकता है, and apart from that it can also be protective in a function for the plant. It can also be kind of it. So we all know there are different kind of plants. जिसके flowers are very colorful, very beautiful, right? So these beautiful flower colors are due to the pigments which are present, and the pigments can also be stored in a vacuum. So these are different functions of the vacuum. So I hope you understood. It can store protein, it can store ions, it can store the pigment, it can help in a excretory function, it can also be a protective function for some plants. Uh, Now the other function. So it can also help in the formation of the food vacuole. So जब भी कभी phagocytosis का process होता है, when I say phagocytosis, it means engulfment of the particular molecule. Okay, so in such case also it will form a food vacuole which will be actually processed further. Okay, so such kind of structure is also present in case such kind of structure can also be formed by using these particular vacuoles. Now another example is in case of paramecium, जहाँ पे the vacuoles are helping in a excretion and a osmoregulation. Excretion मतलब removal of the waste material, and osmoregulation like maintaining the balance within the cell, kind of
Yes.
homeostasis maintaining करने के लिए. Okay, so this is done by the one particular type of the vacuole called as a contractile vacuole. Okay, and this actually maintains the turbidity of the cell. मतलब amount of water and the other biomolecules can be maintained, and because of which the cell becomes turgid, like highly like kind of swollen like structure, proper structure. अगर वो turgid नहीं रहेगा, like if there is a lack of water, the cell becomes flaccid, जहाँ पे water will be not present like in a proper amount within a cell. But because of this typical vacuole, जो कि kind of storing kind of organelle है, the cell becomes turgid. So that helps in the excretion and osmoregulation in case of paramecium. Okay, so all these are functions. एक बार तुम लोग को समझ में आ गया कि what is vacuole, उसका membrane is called as tonoplast, and these are selectively permeable membrane. उसके बाद all you have to talk is all about the functions. कि what are functions, कि वो excretory है या वो storage के लिए है या what all purpose are there. So we will discuss all these points. Okay. Now that is all about the vacuole. But okay, so the next organelle about after the vacuole is I think mitochondria. No, it is the glyoxysomes. So, but before discussing about the glyoxysomes, they have given something for you to read, but then I will just discuss it in a brief. So, in addition to the endomembrane system, there are some other cell organelles which are also bound to the cell membrane. So हमने पढ़ा था कि there are some organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi apparatus, which are a part of this endomembrane system. Can anyone tell me what is the endomembrane system? Please raise your hand, okay? Don't just start shouting. What is the endomembrane system? What is the endomembrane system? Hello, am I audible? Yeah, Nikita.
Yes. Golgi complexes,
Yes.
lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum, all such endoplasmic reticulum, nuclear membrane are together called as the endomembrane system.
Yes, but why? क्यों बोलते हैं उनको endomembrane system? You are right. They are a part of endomembrane system. Absolutely correct. You have named lysosomes, Golgi complex, endoplasmic reticulum, nuclear membrane. But why? Yeah, Sharon, tell me why?
They have a distinct function.
Yes, they have distinct function, correct. But then again, why? Why they are called as endomembrane system? Endomembrane system. Sharon, तुम्हें कुछ और बोलना है? You can say.
Sir, they are made up of membranous sac.
Yes. So basically, that's correct. So whatever Nikita and Sharon is saying is absolutely correct. But when I say endomembrane system, so one point I had mentioned, these organelles are actually in a contact with each other. They are actually coordinating with each other to complete any particular task. So as I mentioned, okay, वेसिकल निकल रहा है एंडोप्लाज्मिक रेटिकुलम से, वो गोल्गी में जा रहा है, फिर वो आगे प्रोसेस हो रहा है. सो दे आर काइंड ऑफ इंटरडिपेंडेंट on like in each other. They are not independent, but they are interdependent. And such membrane which are like attached to each other. So Golgi is present in a very good like it is present very nearby to the endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum is attached to the cell membrane from one side, nuclear membrane from other side. So all this complex structure is actually called as endomembrane system because they are in membranous system, absolutely correct, but they are attached to each other basically, okay, by one end or other end. So that's why it is called as endomembrane system. So as Nikita has very clearly and rightly mentioned about the different organelles which are a part of this endomembrane system. So the one thing they have given additionally that apart from this lysosomes, endoplasmic reticulum or a Golgi complex, and even other nuclear membrane, as she said, there are some other organelles which are present, which are also bound to the plasma membrane by one or other way, but not typically considered as a part of endomembrane system. And such organelles or such system is called as a microbody. Okay, so these microbodies are actually present in both plant and animal cell. Mainly they are like microbodies is a part of the eukaryotic system. They are not present in the prokaryotic system. And even within the eukaryotic, it is present both in a plant and a animal cells. Okay, so these are also a membrane bound sac and which contains typical type of enzymes and based on which they can be classified into multiple types. So microbodies can be of different types based on उनका function क्या है और उसके अंदर कौन से components present है. So one of the type of these microbodies is called as a sperosomes. Okay, I repeat the word sperosome. So these are typically a spherical structure which are present in a cells and are playing a role in a synthesis and storage of a fats. तो अगर किसी ने पूछा what is the function of sperosomes, you need to say synthesis and storage of fats. Okay, so one of the example of the sperosomes is the endosperm of a oil seed. Okay, uh, but then one special thing about the sperosome is like they actually have a half unit membrane. Now what is half unit membrane? Again, the point to highlight or note down is half unit membrane matlab this particular membrane only have a single phospholipid layer. अभी तक हमने क्या पढ़ा था कि whenever there is a membrane there is a bilayer structure. There are two layers of the phospholipid which are present. But in case of sperosome, there is a single phospholipid layer which is present. And it is helping in a synthesis and a storage of a fats. Then the another type of the microbodies is called as peroxisomes. So what is still peroxisomes? So it contains enzymes that actually removes the hydrogen from the substrate and produces the toxic hydrogen peroxide. So peroxisomes is actually the particular organelles जहाँ पे reduction process होते रहता है. Okay, and when they are reducing this particular components or let's say substrate, there is a removal of hydrogen. I'm sorry, there is an oxidation process जहाँ पे removal of hydrogen होते रहता है. Okay, so whenever they are removing the hydrogen atoms from the particular substrate, it leads to formation of the typical compound called as hydrogen peroxide, H2O2. Okay, and because of this oxidation process and because of this hydrogen peroxide, which is actually not very favorable and it is kind of toxic to the cell. Okay, so the cell immediately has to clear off this particular hydrogen peroxide from it, and that's why it converts the hydrogen peroxide with the H2O2 to the water. Okay, and for this particular conversion, there are specific enzymes which are present within the peroxisomes that will help in the process. So there are two major enzymes which are involved in this process. They have not named in your book, but I'm telling you, please note it down. Oxidase and catalase. Okay, these are the two enzymes which are generally present in peroxisomes, and they help in a breaking down like oxidation process and then clearing of this particular H2O2 into water. I repeat, the names are oxidase and catalase. Okay, and then the other function is like the conversion of the typical toxic substance. Like I have mentioned one about the H2O2, but then there are multiple other components like alcohols. Some alcohols are not good for the cell. So even such components can be cleared from the cell by this organelle called as peroxisomes. So I hope you understood the meaning of microbodies, and its two major types, that is the sperosomes and the peroxisomes. Sperosomes का काम क्या होता है? Synthesis and the storage of fats. Peroxisome in other side is helping the like kind of oxidation processes जहाँ पे ये hydrogen peroxide बनाता है and then it is actually getting cleared from the cell by some other enzymes which are present in the peroxisomes and finally making the water. Okay, is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then the next organelle, these are very small organelles. Actually, now there is no very big part as such. The major parts is like, yes, there is a major part जो हम लोग next lecture में शायद cover up करेंगे, like nucleus and all. But then this vacuoles and all is very small organelles, so we can finish it off fast. Then the next organelle is a glyoxysomes. Okay, glyoxysomes. So the name like something like which is using glyo, like whenever there is a word glyo, something related to the sugars or the carbohydrates. Okay, so the glyoxysomes are typically the organelles which are membrane bound organelles again that contains the enzyme that convert the fatty acids to the sugar. Okay, so it will actually that's why the name glyoxysome, because sugars ban rahe यहाँ पे, and the conversion is of basically fatty acids to the sugar. Okay, uh, they are present in different types of cells, but very commonly observed in the germinating seeds, where the cells utilize the source fat as a source of sugar till it starts the photosynthesis. So that is, it is very common example which is one whenever someone has to explain the word glycosymes. तो भी all know जब भी हम लोग कोई भी सीड्स, लेट्स से मेरे पास कुछ पल्सेस है एंड मुझे उनको ग्रो करना है, and what I will do, I will take some amount of soil, water and the seeds, और मैं seeds को soil में डालूंगा, water दूंगा and then I will wait for some days, right? During the initial days क्या होगा, जो pulses रहेगा, let's say I have a gram, तो typical वो जो चना रहेगा, that उसका जो first outer covering होगा, that will break down. So because it is in a dormant stage बहुत दिनों से, जैसे ही मैं उसको favorable condition दे रहा हूँ like a water and the soil, it will start now germinating. But during germination, it requires some kind of energy, right? But then, as we all know, some plants are photosynthesizing, like they actually make their own food, they're autotrophs. But then For photosynthesis, it requires something called as sunlight and chlorophyll, which is a pigment. And this chlorophyll pigment is actually not present in this particular small seeds because उनको जरूरत नहीं दो time पे, it is in a dormant state. So till the time the plant or the seed grows to the stage जहाँ पे you must have seen the cotyledons, जो दो parts बाहर आते हैं and then starting में they are kind of yellowish in a color and then that takes a pale green and then थोड़ा light green and then a typical green color जो होता है हर एक plant का. So that developmental stage. So these are the stages. So this conversion from the typical non-green to green zone. So basically, it is what saying us कि पहले the plant is not able to make the food, but now it is able to make the food. But it is growing even when it is not having this typical green color. And at this time, it means the energy आ रहा है plant के पास to grow. It is coming from this particular stored fats जो कि ये plant के पास रहता है. So this fat is actually converted into a sugar that can be utilized by the plant to grow. Okay, so this is a typical example of a glyoxysomes in a germinating cell. So if you look at the structure, it is a very simple structure, the outer membrane, then a matrix-like substance which contains different enzymes and the core part. Okay, so this is a typical structure of glyoxysomes. I want you to draw the structure of glyoxysomes. Okay, like almost all those. So starting from the uh, Golgi, endoplasmic reticulum, and the cell wall, and plasma membrane. So cell wall, plasma membrane, Golgi, endoplasmic reticulum, and glycogen. You have to draw these structures in your book because अगर draw नहीं करोगे, so you will tend to forget. So it's better to draw the structure in a book. So this is a homework for a day because we will not be having lectures for coming 2 days. So you have enough time to draw. On Sunday mostly we will be meeting again. So तब तक I want सबके बुक में ये स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ किए हुए चाहिए. ओके, तो सब लोग को ड्रॉ करना है. दिस इज जस्ट फॉर योर बेनिफिट. ओके, बिकॉज बायो में डायग्राम्स आर समथिंग यू कैन नॉट एस्केप फ्रॉम. हम लोग को ड्रॉ करने ही पड़ते हैं. So we will have some practice also. Okay, then the next important kind of organelle, सबका पसंदीदा we can say the powerhouse of the cell. Yes, that is a mitochondria. जिंदगी में सब कुछ भूल जाएंगे but we cannot forget that one fill in the blank. Dash is the powerhouse of the cell and that is the mitochondria, right? So that is the importance. So the fun part is apart, the like the mazak and all is apart from, but the organelle itself is very very important for the particular cell because in eukaryotic cell mitochondria is something which is playing a multiple functions, or rather I can say it carries out one particular function which actually controls multiple functions. So सबको पता है mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Can anyone tell me why mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell? You can raise your hands. Yes, Sharon, tell me.
सर माइटोकॉन्ड्रिया में क्रेब्स साइकिल होता है, उसमें से एटीपी मिलता है एंड एटीपी
Yes.
मींस एनर्जी.
Yes. So that is absolutely correct answer. So basically, as he correctly mentioned that mitochondria के अंदर Krebs cycle होता है. Now I know, I don't know, तुम लोग का start हुआ है क्या respiration chapter?
10th में था सर.
Okay, no worries. So even 11th standard तुम लोग को वो पढ़ना है that the process is called as cellular respiration, जहाँ पे हम लोग सिंपल मटेरियल लाइक ग्लूकोज को ब्रेक डाउन करते हैं टू गेन एनर्जी. तो हम लोग को इतना पता होता है कि हम लोग खाना खाते हैं, खाने से हम लोग को एनर्जी मिलता है. बट एग्जैक्टली हाउ द एनर्जी वी गेट फ्रॉम दिस पर्टिकुलर फूड विच वी आर ईटिंग, दैट इज एक्सप्लेन इन द चैप्टर known as respiration. And respiration सबको एक maybe people just understand like they actually confuse between the two words respiration and breathing. When I say respiration, they just understand okay, सांस लेना is kind of respiration. Yeah, that is kind of respiration, but that is not all about respiration. So there are different types of respiration, and one type is called as a cellular respiration. And यहाँ पे जैसे कि इसमें clearly has mentioned about one state of respiration, called as Krebs cycle. But apart from that one step of Krebs cycle, there is something called as glycolysis, which is the very first stage of respiration. Then in Krebs cycle, the second important stage of respiration taking place in a mitochondria. And the third one, electron transport system. Please note it down, okay? I mentioned three important stages of the respiration. सबसे पहला is glycolysis, takes place in a cytosol. Second important most is a Krebs cycle, which takes place in the mitochondria, or to be more precise, the matrix of the mitochondria. And the third important one is called as ETS or ETC. ETS मतलब electron transport system, or ETC मतलब electron transport chain, or oxidative phosphorylation. तीनों का मतलब एक ही है. It is a single process which has multiple names. ETS, ETC, or oxidative phosphorylation. Is it clear? So दो important process जो है cellular respiration के, that is the Krebs cycle and ETS takes place in the mitochondria, and that's why, and the entire agenda or the aim or the goal or target of this particular process is to gain energy. Or very rightly he has mentioned about the ATP, that is the adenosine triphosphate.
Adenosine triphosphate.
Yes, adenosine triphosphate, which is the energy currency of the cell. So that's why the mitochondria becomes the powerhouse of the cell. अभी ये ग्लाइकोलिसिस कैसे होता है, क्रेब्स साइकिल कैसे होता है, एंड ETS क्या होता है, ये सब भी हम लोग पढ़ेंगे in another chapter, that is the cellular respiration. But for now, you have to understand that there are three important stages of respiration. Out of the three, two important stages, that is the Krebs cycle and the ETS, takes place in a mitochondria, which gives us the energy in a form of ATP, and that's why mitochondria is called as a powerhouse of the cell. Okay, I hope you understood the entire story जो मैंने बताया about the mitochondria and the powerhouse of the cell. Now, let's go from the organal point of view कि ये क्या है कैसे है. Okay, so as I mentioned, it is one of the very important organelle, and it is mainly involved in aerobic respiration. So can anyone tell me what is aerobic and what is anaerobic respiration? You can raise your hand. I can do group answers. You can raise your hands and then I can ask. Yes, Ajinkya, tell me.
Aerobic respiration in this aerobic respiration involve the oxygen, and anaerobic without oxygen perform होता है.
Yes, so that is very correct. So aerobic मतलब in a presence of oxygen, and aerobic मतलब in a absence of oxygen. So ये जो mitochondria है, that is mainly take place, that is mainly involved in the case of aerobic respiration. Okay, and it is mostly present in all the eukaryotic cells and absent in a prokaryotic cells. However, there is an exception that the mitochondria is also absent in a red blood corpuscles. Okay, that is the RBCs. और एक important organ is absent in RBCs. वो क्या था? Can anyone tell me? Which other organelle जो हमने अभी तक पढ़े हैं वो RBCs में absent था? Is it like which of the following organelle is absent in RBCs? And the options are glioxysomes, endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, or mitochondria. Tell me, कौन से इसमें Did you understand the question? Question is कि कौन से organelles में, sorry, which of the following organelles, like कौन से organelles RBCs में present नहीं होती या फिर RBCs में absent होते हैं. So one is very clear कि mitochondria is absent in RBCs. The other three options are endoplasmic reticulum, glioxysomes, and Golgi complex.
Endoplasmic reticulum.
Yes.
Sir, I am raising hand. You not.
Okay, sorry. Yeah. So that's correct. Endoplasmic reticulum is another organelle which is actually absent in a
Yes.
RBCs. Yeah, so mitochondria is also absent in a RBCs. So that is a like a basic introduction point of view. Okay? Mitochondria is present in all eukaryotic cells except the prokaryotes and except the RBCs, and the absent in all the prokaryotic cell as well. Okay. Then when it comes to the size and shape, the typical structure of the mitochondria is like they are either spherical in shape or oval in shape. Okay. And they are mainly double membrane bound organelles. So अभी तो हमने जो भी organelles पढ़े हैं, all of them were membrane bound, but then the mitochondria is a double membrane bound. तो उनके पास double layer होता है, and that is actually having a different function. So the outer membrane is permeable and the inner membrane is selectively permeable. So mitochondria is double membrane bound organelle, and then the outer membrane is very tightly present. It's not very loose kind of structure. It is very tightly bound or kind of membrane, and it is freely permeable. Like it can allow any other molecules to enter into the mitochondria. However, the inner membrane of the mitochondria is selectively permeable. That is, it can allow only selective molecules, only few molecules to enter. Or the inner membrane है, that is actually not a very tightly bound kind of structure. It actually have a typical projection-like structure, which is like a finger-like projection-like a structure called as a cristae. Okay, so but and the space between the mitochondria का outer membrane and the inner membrane is kind of a periplasmic space जहाँ पे one of the important process takes place. I will let you know which is the particular process. Okay, so just keep in mind for now two important parts. Mitochondria is a powerhouse of the cell जो कि हम लोग बचपन से पढ़ते आ रहे हैं. Second point is mitochondria double membrane bound organelle. Outer membrane is a freely permeable, inner membrane is a selectively permeable and have a finger-like projection called as cristae, and there is a space between the outer and the inner membrane of the mitochondria, which is having a typical function. So what function now? In the typical space between the outer and the inner membrane, this space में there happens one important reaction called as a acetylation of a pyruvate. Please note it down if you are not able to remember such things. So acetylation of a pyruvate is an important process which takes place in a periplasmic space of a mitochondria. Or its function is like it is actually something that forms the basis of the entire Krebs cycle, and then it is. So before the Krebs cycle starts, there is one of the important stage जो होना ही है. अगर वो नहीं हुआ, then there will be no further processing basically, and this particular step is called as acetylation of a pyruvate. Yeah. Yes, please doubt some. So it's almost 7:35, so I will not continue, but I will ask you to draw a diagram of mitochondria and come in the next class. Apart from the 4 other diagrams जो हम लोगों ने discuss किए थे. So please draw the diagrams, label it properly, make it clean and proper. एकदम छोटू सा, एकदम बड़ा नहीं. A proper dimension should be there. Okay. So with this, I will stop here. So if you are having
Yes,
any
sir.
doubts, you can let me know.